Hey guys, just having a look at the Lithium ETF. So it's LIT. We're on the monthly chart. So Lithium's it's tied a lot to electric vehicles. They use lithium to make the batteries, I think. So in this ETF, there's a lot of different companies. There's a lot of these are like international companies, but we do see Tesla in there. So it might be hard to see, but there's like some Panasonic, Samsung, SDI, I don't know if that's the same Samsung. And there's some lithium companies, it looks like it's a Chinese company. Able, Marble Corp, I've never heard of some of these. Some of them looks like it's international. Yuan Energy, yeah, a lot of these are Chinese companies. Some of them, like one is Mineral Resources, I don't think that's Chinese. What else is on here? AMG, Galaxy Resources, Lithium America's corporation, so there is some American companies and maybe some North American companies. So from a monthly perspective, we've had a little bit of a sell-off this month, but definitely last month. This month we have gone down from 64 about, so the high of this candle was 64 and 7 cents, so $64.07. The low was 55.65. So it has had quite a bit of a sell-off so far. So we have come down from a weekly perspective. It was volatile to the upside. We had a little bit of buying momentum and that failed. Then it came down a little bit more. And then you could see we just had a huge drop, so there was some bearish momentum. Definitely some of the momentum indicators are crossing over. Let's see from a day trading perspective if we might get a retracement back up here. Yeah, we probably will. So we see that it's now almost oversold, or it was. So could this come up back to the center line? Yeah, it could. To the EMA 9? Yeah, probably. Once these momentum indicators start swinging in a bullish momentum, we could see this come back up. So whether you're trying to go long or go short, I wouldn't go long. I'd probably come up and try to go short. But if you're just waiting for a buy right now, it probably is not a good time to buy. Because from a monthly perspective, we can see that support one's like way down there for monthly candles. So about at the center line, which is at like 42, so this does have a way to come down. And could we break that level? We probably could. I'll just fix that. It's not very good. So could we break that level? Yeah, we probably could. If we do break that level, it would probably come down here. I'll just zoom out a little bit. Yeah, actually there's support down there. There's support there too. So anywhere between 45 and 41, there's some support. But would that break? It probably would. From a monthly perspective, it would probably eventually break, and we see the price coming down here to get bought up. We'll do an update video later in a couple months, but just from right now, would I be buying lithium? I would not. I would definitely wait for a better price. We want to see this come down to that 42 level. We want to see it break the EMA 9 first, 51.99. And see, definitely there was a lot. There's been a few cycles here, so there's a bull cycle. We can't see all of it. But then there was a bear cycle, and then a bull cycle again, a bear cycle, and then we got a breakout to all-time highs. That's where we are now. Would we see the price retrace down here? We probably would. Would that hold support? It's not for sure, but we'll definitely talk about it. If you are investing in lithium for the long term, I would wait. This does have a long way to come down because this is the most volatility we've had to the upside, as it's showing. But the selling momentum, we haven't had anything too deep. Kind of deep, but not too deep. So we could get a swing here. We just gotta wait for this to come back down. Definitely, it's probably going to touch the center line. It's probably going to cross below it, because same thing, like, it crosses up, crosses down, it crosses up, eventually crosses down. So eventually it's going to cross down, right? Whether this moves up a little bit or moves down, it's going to cross down eventually. So this is a selling cycle, as right now the market is taking a retracement for the most overall sectors. Definitely Tesla. If you haven't watched that video, Tesla is going short right now. No one really knows how far it's going to go, but it definitely can go pretty deep from the market conditions. As of right now, we could definitely see this come back down here. I don't think it would probably go less than the pandemic, but could it go down there to like get really sold off? Maybe it could, if they want to take profits, right? If big players want to take profits, and big CEOs, corporations, who knows, maybe Elon Musk holds Lithium too, and if he wants to take profits, this could definitely come back down here to the 16 level or less, right? But probably not. So around anywhere from like 27, 26 to 40 is where you want to be looking. So we'll definitely do an update video. We'll just have a look at some more momentum. So this is just swinging down. So it definitely has a long way to go. As you can see, we've had lots of history of the weekly getting oversold. So there's been tons of periods where the weekly has been oversold. So could this get oversold again? I think it could eventually, right? That's where you want to be looking. Not exactly where you want to buy, but that's exactly where you want to be looking, because if you just think you can buy down there, you can get caught. So you have a look. This went down. Actually, no, wait, that's not a good example. Oh yeah, here's a better example. So this got oversold here, right? And then it went up. Well, I guess yeah, but when this went higher, this went lower, right? So there's some divergence there, but he got caught because it kept running down. So I'm not saying if it's oversold, that's where you're gonna buy, but that's a good place to start looking. That's just a good place to start looking. Not for sure that it's gonna go right up from there, but there was some divergence here to positive infinity, and it just eventually shot up. But look, it came down, right? So that's why I don't just go off weekly candles. I definitely go off monthly candles too. But yeah, that's just an example. So don't use RSI just to go short or just to go long. You could be gambling, and you could obviously make a lucky break, but it's not always 100%. So it's just a good place to start looking. From a monthly perspective, this has not always been oversold, but does it get down there? It definitely does. So there's definitely a lot of room for this to fall. So 40 looks pretty good, right? Like if you were to average this number and this number, this number, that number, that number, that number, you'd probably get 40 as like an average, right? Something like that, or maybe a little bit more. But if you wait, you definitely can get a better price. Yeah, that's not divergent to negative infinity, so definitely wait. You can see that the periods of the swings, I'll use the default one. So we got a down cross there, and you can see it ran for a long time. It ran for like 2 years, right? Then we had an upswing that ran for, well, since the pandemic. I think it's trying to take off before the pandemic too, but I guess with the pandemic it got sold off, and it crossed up over that center line, and it crossed down. Where's the EMA 9? Yeah, so they crossed up the EMA 9 too, and that center line crossed down. Then we had that run up, and then it swang up, and it's been running for a while, right? For a year about. So it looks like it wants to come down now. It wants to have a bearish cycle, as you can see. Obviously, there's a lot of videos to make, so I'm not able to make them all at the same time, but I'll try to. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for this to come down. So this was overbought. It came down. There was some bullish momentum. We crossed down over that center line in the EMA 9. it got bought up at support, and then it continued up from there. So if you want to go long on lithium, the verdict is definitely wait and just let the price come back to you. Don't run after the price, just wait for the price to sit at the right spot, think about it, and just go from there. So we definitely can see this fall for a long, for definitely at least a while. We could see this fall for the remainder of the year or more. So we'll talk about it later. So hope that helps. I'll see you guys later. Take care.